Welcome back to another episode of Light Beer, Dark Money. I'm Sean Noble, and my cohort, Chris Clements, is off enjoying some time with his family. And so today I thought that I would focus on the theme of our podcast, which isn't a part of what we put into the intro. It's obviously faith, freedom, and free enterprise, but we've both, from early on when we started this podcast, we've also added the element of fitness. And really, it's a better word would be wellness, because it's not just fitness. So I wanted to just hit on a few things. You know, here we are, the middle of February, towards the end, you know, getting into the third week of February. And, you know, if you've had your New Year's resolutions, you know, maybe you're just killing it, and maybe you have given up. Don't give up. You can always come back. So one of the things that I have always appreciated about my wife, Alyssa Scannell, who is way more versed on this stuff, but for the fact that she had to do a quick day trip out of town today, I would have had her with me today to talk about this stuff, but I'll try to pull it off on my own and then bring her back at some point where we can dive deeper. You know, Alyssa is, she has a master's of psychology with emphasis in life coaching. She is a certified fitness instructor, multimodal, I guess I should say. And as many of you know, I am a fitness instructor as well. I do bar instructing, and that is not common for a guy. You're right. But is something that I really do enjoy, primarily because I like to help people get motivated about moving, about their health. And that stems from my own story, because there was many, many years, you know, as a political hack, I did not exercise regularly. I ate like garbage, and my health was evident as a result of that. I topped out probably at the worst of my health. I was very soft and pudgy, about 220, 225, which is pretty embarrassing when I look back. And I think I might have mentioned in previous episode that I have a bunch of pictures with, you know, politicians. I mean, George Bush and Tom Coburn and Denny Hastert and Newt Gingrich and, you know, you name them, all of the big ones from the 90s and 2000s. And I don't hang any of those pictures up because it is Fat Sean. And I don't know. So I thought I'd go a little bit into what things I've done to change my habits, in hopes that it may, you know, inspire you, motivate you, or tell you, that's not what I want to do. Whatever you can take from it. So I first got involved in getting back into more of a healthy lifestyle around 2000, late 2012 or early 2013. We had an office in DC, and we had a number of employees, and we decided there was a gym called Crunch that was less than a block away, like 2 buildings over. And so we decided to get memberships for all of our employees as a benefit for being employed at our company. And so I would go, and I was terrible at working out at the gym. I really didn't know what I was doing. I lifted weights when I was in high school, and then never lifted weights again after that. Maybe a little bit. I had when I was on my mission in Indiana, I had a companion who was a little bit into that, and there was a gym that let us come for free, but that was like 3 months at tops. So we, because we'd gotten this membership for our company, I got free personal training for, I don't know, 3 or 4 sessions. and it was miserable. I hated it. But a few months later, my business partner, now wife, Alyssa, said, "Hey, you ought to try this bar thing," because she had just gone and done her first class and seemed to enjoy it, and I loved it. I went; it was just amazing. Now I was the only guy in class. Bar tends to be more of a woman's exercise for whatever reason, not quite certain. I think maybe because people think it's dancing and it's really not. But I was so inspired by the strength of the women in that room that were, doing these exercises that were killing me. I mean, literally, I could not hold the exercises. And so that started me on the journey. And what I realized, that was the first time I'd done a group fitness class, that was the ticket. For whatever reason, that was the motivation I needed to stay active, to go back. And then as a result of getting active, feeling like I was getting a little bit stronger, I started to eat better. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what exercise you do. You are not going to, if you are wanting to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight by exercising. You're going to lose weight by what you put in your body. And so, but the exercise can be a gateway to better eating, which it was for me. And then over the course of years, then I became an instructor for bar, and I still do that today. I now do a hot bar at a studio called The Foundry. There's one in Arcadia at 48th Street in Indian School. There's a few other locations: Paradise Valley, Mesa and Tempe, and Avondale, and then one in Flagstaff. And they've great offerings. They have hot HIIT, hot Pilates, hot bar, and then 2 or 3 different hot yoga classes. Definitely highly recommend. But then in addition to bar, during the pandemic, well, actually a little bit before the pandemic, we had gotten a Peloton. I jumped on the Peloton. That became something I really enjoyed doing. And so I do a lot of Peloton. And then during the pandemic, we were introduced to a fitness studio called BODi. It's in Scottsdale, BODi, and started to go there. And that was when I realized, oh, wow, I need to actually get more, strength training engaged in my practice of health and wellness. And sometime around, during the pandemic and towards the latter end, Alyssa, was getting more into the biohacking. We've talked a little bit about that. I think we did a quick episode while I was at a biohacking conference in the fall of last year. And then we started adding more things to the repertoire besides the exercise, the bar, the Peloton, BODi. Then we cold plunge, which we still do every day. Sauna, which has got obvious benefits. A lot of studies that have come out, very good for brain health, for preventing Alzheimer's, which is obviously a big thing for me, with my dad having passed away last year from Alzheimer's. And then, various playing around with different supplements. I've gone through all of them. I feel like, and you just have to find what's right for you. But I would encourage you to, if you do nothing, at least start to find something that you enjoy to move your body, and then work on what you're putting in your body. A big thing for me, as far as just general health, but also it also impacted my weight, was when I quit drinking in August of 2021. Within a couple of months, I saw, I lost 5 pounds just without anything else, just automatically. And so, there's just a lot of things that you can do and that you should do. And I say should because we are, maybe you aren't the person who wants to live until you're over 100. I do. I want to live to be 110, 120. That's in part motivated because I'm an old dad in the sense that, I'm 52 years old. I have a daughter who just turned 4 yesterday and a son who turns 2 in May. So, I want to be around for a long time for them, in addition to my 5 other kids. So, yes, I have 7 children. I know that's, for some of you, that might be impossible to believe. But I've always worked under the assumption that the more kids you have, the better chance you have to have somebody to care for you when you're old and decrepit. That's just my way of looking at it. And somebody's got to keep up with trying to keep the birth rate at, it's not high. So I don't know. I'm only one person. I can only do so much. Robin's just shaking her head, going, oh my gosh. Anyway, so this was what I wanted to do today was just kind of walk through some of my story. And maybe it's inspirational, maybe it's not. Maybe you're like, oh, what a complete waste of my time. I hope it's not a waste of your time because I want you to be thinking about how do you live better and smarter and longer. Another thing, meditation, obviously a big component. And I have not had mental health issues in the sense that, I've never suffered from depression, thankfully, but people do, and it's real. And so I think a lot of wellness has to do with mental wellness as well. For me, it's not the depression side, but it's going to be the cognitive stuff because of, the fact that, my father passed away from Alzheimer's. It's definitely on my mother's side. Both of her older sisters had dementia. So there's a lot of things that I've been trying to do from the brain health standpoint that you should think through, not only for brain health, but also for mental health. Because, trying to have less stress, trying to exercise more, trying to just get your body moving, those are all things that are good for you, just period. And then being thoughtful about how you eat and what other substances you put in your body. Because, everything has a consequence. Some good, some bad, some, marginal. And unfortunately, the other thing I forgot to mention, talking about marginal benefit, and I don't know, maybe it's better than marginal, but as people age and lose muscle mass, that has impact on their health. And I'm a big follower. I'll tell you some of the podcasts that I listen to: Peter Attia, Andy Galpin, Huberman, forgot his first name. Those are all people. Dave Asprey's the kind of the biohacking guy, and there's a lot of great information. Dr. Mark Hyman, and there's a lot of conflicting information sometimes as well. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't eat vegetables because they're, plants want to kill you, and other people are saying you should only eat plants. And I think there's probably moderation and balance and all of that stuff. But everybody is different, so you have to be thoughtful about what it is that you're gonna pursue. And one of the things that Alyssa and I decided was that we were going to do more heavy weight training. So we do squats and deadlifts and bench press and some of the big stuff. And I have actually set it as a goal for this year to, I know this is going to sound ridiculous to a lot of you. It kind of sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, but I'm going to enter a powerlifting competition at some point. Now, thankfully, there are age and weight classes, so I'll be up in the the mid 50s, or I don't know, it's like 51 to 55 or whatever age class. So I don't have to compete against young, strapping guys. But I don't have any expectation that I'll do very well, because I looked at the world records for my age and weight, and it is pretty stunning. The squat is 600 pounds. So I think when I was in the gym last, when I figured out what, I didn't do my single rep max, but, I was I'm probably in the 280-ish range for squats, and deadlift, I'm probably around 300. The record for that is 660. Bench press, I'm way under. Bench press is, I can't remember what it is. I think it's 400, or maybe it's 440. So my goal is to get at least half of whatever the world record is before I enter the competition. So I'll keep you posted on the developments of that. So thought I would just hit a little bit personal, but important from the standpoint of wellness and fitness, and hope you got something out of it. Feel free to ping me with any questions you have, and I'll probably refer you to Alyssa, because she has way better answers than I do. Anyway, hope this is helpful. You guys have a great day. Take care.